Bellamy and Murphy get to hang out a bit more. Yeah, I think it'd be. You know what I'd also like to see? I'd like to see a fighting scene with Bellamy and Octavia, like, you know, Double Dragon style, taking on the world. But yeah, because I don't think I've done it like a fight sequence with me and Marie against other people, which would be cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I was just wondering, because a lot of Bellamy's decisions are, in the end, like, his gut and his emotions drive him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's going to change in the next season with what happened with Pike and Octavia, or is it too much a part of who he is and why he works so well with Clark?
I think that is why he works so well with Clark. Bellamy is very, very emotional, very irrational at times. But you know, he's got convictions in when he makes a decision. You know, someone had said earlier, he kind of seems to he'll make a mistake and he'll be redeemed, and then he'll make the same mistake. I feel that's true of him and his nature. So I hope that he can kind of be a bit more pragmatic when it comes to decision making. I think that's why he gravitates towards kind of influences like Clark, Pike, and Kane, because I think within himself he knows that he hasn't really got the smarts to make the right decision all the time. I think that he doesn't like having that leadership bestowed upon him. So that's why he is such a loyal, second in charge, like he was to Pike, or, you know, can be to Clark. You know, he would go on and die for his people. That's more of his role. I think that the best thing that he can give to the group is, like, you know, himself, as opposed to his decision-making skills. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, you see this. I was wondering, what was the hardest part to film in the 103 seasons for you?
Over the 3 seasons,
Yeah.
what was the hardest thing to shoot? You know, there's different degrees of hardness. Sometimes things can be hard because they're emotionally tough or emotionally draining, or they can be physically draining, or they can just be time consuming. So for me, the ones that were the hardest physically was in season 2, where I was getting hung upside down and then having to fight Lovejoy at the end of that, after being in a cage, being tortured in a cage. That sequence took about 3 or 4 days, and I was covered in bruises. I lost my voice, and you know, it was a really tough time for me personally at that point. So that was really tough physically. Emotionally, I remember the scene, the episode where we were torturing Lincoln. That was really hard. I mean, to put yourself in a mindset where you've got someone tied up and you're, you know, stabbing them and punching them, it's not a nice feeling. So after a couple of days, I was like, I gotta work anymore. I'm sorry, Ricky. Yeah, that was a tough one. But then the other ones that are really hard and just kind of draining are the ones where, you know, we're doing the speeches and stuff like that, and every cast member's there, because they take like a whole day. So, you know, they'll get, hello little man. They'll get, like, you know, the close-ups of like me, Eliza, you know, Lindsay, Marie, and that just takes a long time. And if every time they're doing different coverage, it's called, and I have to do a speech all the time, all the way through that, it can get pretty exhausting. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thanks.
Thank you. Hey.
Hi. First and foremost, Bellamy Bake is definitely my favorite character in The 100.
Thank you.
And I haven't catch up with season 3. I'm on like 2 episodes. I've seen 2 episodes, so I have like a few more to go. I had to catch up.
Love, man.
Yeah.
Stay strong.
But in season 2, there was like this kiss between Claire and Alexa, and my question is, what was your reaction when you saw that kiss between Clark and Lexa?
I don't know. I didn't find it shocking at all for that to happen. I don't know. It's definitely interesting because at that point, when you start mixing like love with politics, that's where things could probably get a little bit messy. You know, if you saw like, I don't know. Oh, actually, I don't want to say anything too political. But yeah. So like I think that can be dangerous. Once emotions start getting mixed in with policies and being pragmatic, that's when things get a little bit blurred. So for me, that's when you got like the two most kind of powerful women in the show and they form that bond. There's, and it's nothing to do with two women or two men. It's just when emotions get involved in like decision making, it can be hard. Like trust me. Me living with my girlfriend, I love her, the decision making in our house is impossible. So, and on that stance, yes, it's very intriguing. You're like, oh, where could this go and what could this lead to? And you're only 2 episodes into season 3, so you'll probably see. Yeah.
I'll catch up with season 3.
Yeah, man, yeah. Maybe your question will be answered then.
Thanks, anyways.
Yeah, no worries.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, so something I've noticed throughout this Bellamy as a character is that he gets his motivation is also based on guilt because he's been going through a lot of guilt making decisions. Like when, he tried to bring Octavia to the dance and, everyone got caught, the mom got, Bellamy's mom got executed. Then, he had to pull the switch on Mount Butter and then, Lincoln, what happened.
Look, I definitely, one of his biggest motivators for me as an actor is the weight of guilt that he carries around with him. That's probably the hardest aspect for me of playing Bellamy is to walk around with that burden on his shoulders. And I hope that, because I feel like season 2 was him trying to relieve himself of that guilt by, doing everything he could to save the 48 that remains, like going into Mount Weather on a basic suicide mission and doing all that because he threw away the radio in season 1, and that in effect killed some of his friends' parents, and he was responsible for all that. And I think you'll find after that point he really starts to get in line with Clark and starts not wanting to be like the big macho leader. He starts stepping back after that and realizing he was responsible for it. He starts to step back, and then I think he then starts to see what's left of the 100 as similar to Octavia. Like they become his family and he has to look after them. So I felt like season 1 and 2, guilt was a huge motivator for him. And yeah, much the same, he was very emotionally conflicted in season 3 that, maybe he made the wrong decision going with Pike or Kane, but yeah, that's hard to say. But I think you're right.
Also, you're awesome.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Hi. At the end of season 3, like we kind of see the obstacle of season 4, but I really don't see a way around it. Like, do you kind of see how can they fight the new obstacle that they're going to have to fight? That the AA, I don't want to spoil it, the IA told them the new obstacle kind of.
Yeah. How do I see them approaching that?
Yeah.
Well, that's not my job, that's Jason's job. I mean, if he made his bed, he'll have to figure his way out of it. Even when we read the last episode and Eliza and I were talking about it, I was like, so I was reading it, I was like, so all this is like all for nothing, right? He's like, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. It's a funny one. It was like at the end of the season, where she drops that bomb on him, and then Octavia. Octavia, walks out. And there's like the director's like, oh, now react to Octavia doing this. I'm like, yeah, but this other thing's really important as well. I'm like, there's a lot going on right now. So Yeah, there are so many things that we still need to cover, but you know what I'm interested in is what the people who come back from, you know, the city of light, what happens to them and how, like, if they just instantly come back, or you know, they're just kind of just full of regret for the rest of their lives, or they you know, turn around and just they're angry that they're back and they could have been staying in the city of light. It's interesting, and I think it's really interesting because you can kind of see that really play out on Devon's face at the end of the season. So, to me, that story, I really hope that we get to look into that and see what effects they have. You know, they're Kane and Jaha, they're all really struggling with it. So, hopefully, you know, they get to kind of stew in that a little bit and we get to explore that concept. But yeah, we'll see. We don't have much time left. We'll see. Yeah. Thank you. I mean, in the show, not right now. We got time. Hello.
Hi. Since a lot of season 1 and 2 was filmed like the forests and like mountainous areas of Vancouver, how was that filming? And, like, with the rain and everything?
Oh yeah. I mean, I enjoy it. Like, it's pretty amazing to have that backdrop is like your office. Some days, you know, it would be like little bear, like cubs turning up on set, and all like it was pretty awesome, man. Like, I don't see that stuff in Australia. But you know, yeah, the cold can be a pain, and sometimes in the summer it can be a little too hot. But for most part, working in that environment only heightens your performance, and being out there is really exciting, and it's just beautiful. And yeah, it's not too hard for us actors. For the crew who have to drag everything up there and everything back and put the lights in, that, like, I take my hat off to them, because that is some really hard work. So, you know, I'm not going to complain about it at all.
Like, will we see a lot more forests in season 4 than we did in season 3? Like,
yeah, I mean, because we got that new set at Polis, and I think it costs quite a lot of money, they're like, we have to use this, guys. Yeah. So hopefully, I love working in the forest, so, you know, hopefully we get back to, you know, the Ark and we get to hang out there, because, yeah, being in the forest is beautiful. It's pretty spectacular. So, yeah.
thank you.
No worries, thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay. In season 2, how did you really react to Finn's death? Like,
How did I react to it?
like, and then like, were you kind of like surprised with the choice of who dies? Then?
I don't know. Like, I mean, we knew long before it was going to happen. You know, being friends with Tom and all that kind of stuff, and it was something that I think Tom had talked about early at the end of the first season. You know, so it's always disappointing to lose a cast member, because you band together and you spend so much time with them, and everyone brings something great and positive to set. And Tom was a very quirky man, and I really enjoyed his humour. But in terms of Finn dying, I always found that a funny storyline, because, you know, Clark went down and killed him, and then the commander went, okay, we're all good, it's okay. And I was like, but what about the families that wanted to slice him up? Didn't they didn't get their redemption? The commander went, oh, it's good, we're even now. I was like, I don't really think we are. But we'll take it. We got a good deal on the Finn death, just saying. That's terrible. Yeah, I got to see Tom recently, actually. He did a convention in Paris, and I just forgot how funny I find that guy, so yeah, it's a shame to not have him around. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome to Montreal again.
Take you very much.
Hope you enjoy your stay. A lot of the questions have been about what's in the seasons and stuff. I want to know, where is your favorite part of, like, that you filmed, and why?
Where's my favorite part?
Like, what places in Vancouver have you guys filmed at, and like, why is it your favorite?
I mean, the forest is probably my favorite part to shoot. We did have one day where we shot in Vancouver. I don't get to shoot, like, I think Alicia and Eliza got to shoot downtown, which is pretty cool because you could just walk to work. But I got to, Eliza and I shot something that was kind of in town, and it was the episode where we went into we found the guns. So that was kind of fun shooting in there, because it was close to home. But this one time, the one place that is not my favourite was, we were shooting we were down in the underground garage.